of, it was around 8 to 8:15 p.m. We were just getting out of basketball practice. Went to the lounge to get some drinks, but the vending machines are, I would say, probably near the back, and Jason put his money in and didn't get a drink. When he didn't get his drink, he did push the machine. The first time, not so hard. The second time, a little bit harder. And the machine proceeded to fall on top of him after he had already fallen, and the glass was everywhere. The sound of that machine hitting him was insane.
So he doesn't get what he's paying for. He tries to push the machine, and then it falls on him, causing these injuries?
Yes, Your Honor.
Jason, tell me about that.
Honestly, Your Honor, it was probably the scariest thing that's ever happened to me. I was just, I guess after the practice, I was flustered, and I didn't really shake it that hard. There was more give in this machine than I had anticipated, and the next thing I know, I hit the floor, and I don't remember very much after that.
Now, Ms. Watson, Ms. Turner talked about school being safe. That's the expectation of every parent. This kind of thing's not supposed to happen. How does this happen? Especially at a school like Carrington Prep.
Your Honor, what we try to do is we try to teach respect and responsibility.
Yes, ma'am.
If a person doesn't get what they want out of a machine, is the solution to basically shake and attack the machine? That's kind of a natural consequence to a behavior.
I guess it depends on what you want and what kind of mood you're in, though. I've seen some people do some crazy things with vending machines.
And what were the consequences?
Well, I didn't see any of them get the machine on top of them and destroy their face. It's your machine, your campus. These are your students. Their mom has entrusted them to you. Why wouldn't that be your fault?
Jason's actions that caused this machine to topple over.
He didn't attack the machine.
We have a code of conduct, and he violated our code of conduct. And I have this for you if you'd like to see it.
Sure, Matt, will you get the code of conduct?
One of the items is to behave responsibly, and another one is destruction of school property.
It reads, students must, 1, behave responsibly, demonstrate courtesy to others, be prepared for classes, cooperate with educators and school officials, respect school and others' property. Is shaking the machine respecting school property?
But, Your Honor, he didn't push the machine that hard.
Well, that hard is relative, isn't it?
Well, he was there.
Really, he wasn't using all of his might, seriously.
You actually submitted an animation to explain this. All right, will you cross over to the plasma and show me how your brother did this and how this happened?
He put the money in it. He didn't get what he paid for. He becomes flustered. Starts shaking the machine. The first time, not so vigorously. The second time, he gave it a little bit more of a shake, as you can tell with this kind of motion. And then it topples on top of him. The glass everywhere. Everywhere. I thought he was dead.
So that actual vending machine fell on top of your brother?
The whole thing.
And the front glass shattered and cut his face all up?
Everywhere.
Now, Miss Watson, that's not supposed to happen.
Of course not. It's not ever supposed to happen, but sometimes things do happen as a consequence of a behavior. I understand that after practice, the kids are hot, they're sweaty, they're tired, they want something to drink. We have several water fountains in the Student Activity Center.
They don't work.
Okay.
They chose not to do that.
No,
they
they
can
don't
bring their own drink to practice. Usually there is water provided at practice and during practice. There is a number on the machine that if the machine is not working properly, that they can have this number to call. And this was a number that if he didn't get his drink out of the machine and he needed help, to call this number before he got to that behavior.
This is the customer service number, right?
Correct. Now, I realize it was at night.
But isn't the fix just to have a machine that's not going to topple over on a kid?
That because he didn't get his drink,
You know
that he
what?
was going to try to force it.
Could you stop calling it a violent attack on this
talk to
machine?
me,
Look
please.
at my boys. My boys are athletic, but they're not these big, muscly guys.
This machine didn't fall over because he blew on it,
No.
right?
But he pushed it.
You've submitted medical bills totaling $60,000 just for the past.
Yes.
You're asking this court to award you $40,000 for future medicals. Jason, tell me what this has been like for you. We're talking around like you're not in the room. What are you going through, son?
Honestly, Your Honor, the bare pain is immeasurable. I don't look the same anymore. I'm having a hard time with school. I know I'm not going to be able to graduate this year. I can't drive. And honestly, I just don't feel like my mom and my brother look at me the same anymore. It's like I'm just not here.
Miss Watson, tell me this. What kind of safety precautions did you all put in place to make sure that these machines don't move like this?
This is a fairly new machine. It's only been there a couple of weeks. The one in the middle is the one that toppled over. The two on the sides are being replaced next week. So we were going to have them bolted all three together.
So on the day that this happened, none of these were anchored to the wall or anchored to each other?
The other two were.
Okay.
Just the brand new one had not been bolted yet.
And how life would have it, he pulls on the one that's not
Exactly
anchored.
that one. You know, Your Honor, we're not talking about children. We're talking about students that are getting ready for the real world.
Here's where I struggle with that. It always kind of makes me ticklish when someone in your shoes being sued comes in and says, well, we were responsible for their safety, but this is all their fault because they're 17 and not 5. We're not dealing with kids, but we are dealing with minors.
Exactly.
Right, Your Honor.
And having raised 3 boys, 17-year-old boys are a little bit crazy.
The report that I saw of this incident stated that he pushed very hard on this machine for it to topple over.
He weighs like 95 pounds. How hard could he push?
That is my question, and that's why this court has consulted an engineer, Andrea Brown Milheisler, and she's going to explain how this machine can topple. Sheriff Matt, will you get Miss Milheisler?
Yes, Your Honor.
Good day, ma'am.
Hello, Judge.
Can you explain how does a machine like this topple over?
Well, it doesn't happen spontaneously. You have a force coming across from the top of the machine. Once the center of gravity of that machine exceeds the angle of the tipping point, the machine is going to come down. So your typical machine weighs about 900 pounds. When you add in the product, that's another 225 pounds. So you're looking at a total of 1,125 pounds. Now, at that weight, if someone is rocking it, once it is rocked past a vertical angle of 34.5 degrees, the machine is going to come down.
Ma'am, how is it possible that someone of his size can topple a 900-pound full vending machine?
If you go up and start rocking it, the momentum created by the rocking of the machine would help it much more easily topple over. And once it rocked past the 34.5 degree angle, it would tip over onto someone.
Thank you, ma'am. We appreciate you. You are released.
Absolutely. Thank you.
So, Jason, you pulled this giant machine over on yourself. What did you think was going to happen?
Honestly, Your Honor, I don't remember being very aggressive. I don't remember much at all.
Jackson, you see this machine fall on your brother. What did you do?
Obviously I panicked because I thought I saw my brother die. So,
Miss Watson, you all actually had plans to tether this machine to the wall, but you didn't. Do you wish y'all had done it sooner?
Well, of course, Your Honor. But I still feel that that machine needed that force, that pushing and pulling, to knock it over.
That machine needed to be tethered. It needed to be tethered to the wall, just like all the other machines on your property, so that this does not happen.
Folks, I think I've heard what I need to hear. I'm ready to render my decision. Injury case, the plaintiff has to prove 3 things. The plaintiff has to prove that the defendant was wrong and that the defendant's wrong caused your harm. My analysis is whether Carrington Prep is responsible for your injuries. Here you've put up evidence that you and your brother, your sons, finished with basketball practice, going into the student lounge, gonna get a drink. The machine is not cooperating as much as you want. You start to shake it, it falls on you and injures you pretty badly. And you believe that Carrington Prep should pay for every bit of what you're asking this court to award you. Ms. Watson, you're here to represent Carrington Prep. And while your heart goes out to this young man and this family for these injuries, you believe that if he hadn't been rocking the machine, y'all would have never met me here today. And as hard as it sounds, you believe these injuries are his fault and Carrington Prep shouldn't be responsible. This is a classic premises liability case. You have a certain responsibility to care for yourself. Carrington Prep has a responsibility under law to take reasonable measures to make sure that the property is safe. Now, part of that responsibility to take reasonable measures is to anticipate likely harm or risk. Here, you all had actual notice that these machines could fall. That's why you had a plan to tether them to the wall. Under the law, you have actual notice of this potential harm. The other thing that adds to that notice is you're dealing with 17-year-old high school students. If these were 5th graders or 2nd graders, no, they're not going to fool with the machines. 17-year-old boys do, and you all are in the business of nurturing 17-year-old boys. The law charges you with that kind of knowledge. So here, with that knowledge, you should have tethered the machine to the wall. So I find that you have proven that Carrington Prep was wrong, and that wrong caused your injuries. So I'm going to award to you $350,000 I find in your favor and against Carrington Prep. That's my final verdict, and this matter is adjourned.
Whether or not the vending machine was bolted to the wall, he should not have been messing with the vending machine like that. That's not how the vending machine works. You put your money in, and then it dispenses your snack or your drink, and then you take it. If you're messing with the machine, you're messing with the school property. The honest truth, you may not agree with me, And if you don't agree with me, put it in the comments below. I think it was actually his fault, but I'm really happy to see that he got some money for his suffering and injuries, because if that happened to me as a 17-year-old, I would be traumatized. So do you agree with the verdict or not? Put it in the comments below, and thank you for watching.